everyone. Thank you for joining us on Genealogy Adventures and spending the next hour with us. I'm Brian Sheffy.
And I'm Danya Williams, and we have such an awesome show for you guys today. I am excited, overwhelmed, just loving it. I don't have my tissue, so if y'all see me with my shirt and doing like that, just pay it no mind.
As a matter of fact, it is such an awesome show and such excitement around it, too. I'm going to let Donnie just jump straight into the introduction.
That is so awesome. So I want you guys right now. I am pulling in Mr. Raymond Campbell and Mr. JD Barnes, and these two people are from probably my favorite show on TV, Relative Race. So let me do a really good and quick introduction. First, Raymond Campbell, he considers himself just a guy, and you'll see that as we have the as this interview goes on. But Raymond was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and he lives in Randallstown, Maryland. His hobbies are spending time anywhere quiet that allows him to think and to recenter his spirit. He loves hip hop. He loves acting. He loves directing. And he wants to have his own TV show. So, right, we might be able to guide you into something like that. And then there's James JD. JD is proud to be called a dad, a pop, and a coach. He his professional services, he served as a strategic business consultant and executive leadership coach to hundreds of companies nationally and internationally. He has a passion for developing people, teams, and organizations through all phases of business and helping to enable rapid and sustainable growth. So I just want to how do you get kicked off? I just once again want to welcome Ray and JD Barnes to the show. Thank you guys for coming. I love you. I just needed to say that out loud so everybody can
hear. Thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Yes.
Yes, no, it's again, welcome is such a pleasure. So I wanted to just kind of start off by saying, you know those little warnings that you sometimes see on movies and TV shows on television that says, will contain smoking, bad language, those kind of things?
Sure.
Your whole season should have had the warning, get a box of tissues. Because every single episode from episode 1 was really, really emotional. I'm kind of missed up even thinking about that. And I guess that's the lead into my first question. I mean, and it's to both of you. I don't know who wants to go first. What was that emotional roller coaster actually living it?
What do you say, Ray?
I tell you, it was a roller coaster. You're trying to package competition, family, love, and then with our season specifically, we have a genuine, unique love for each other. So you want to win, but you don't want to see somebody lose. So it's all that packaged in with meeting somebody you never met, being timed, talking to strangers, getting ready for the evening. It was definitely that, a roller coaster up and down.
Absolutely. There's no way to prepare for it. There's almost no way to describe it. The fatigue that you experience as a result of it is real.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a great blessing. And I think it's that roller coaster of emotions that keeps living on within each of the Relative Race family and even the fans who watch Relative Race. We run into people all the time, and they went on that roller coaster with us.
Mm-hmm.
And they resonate with that message and those feelings. And that's how they know us. They know us by those, when they said, when you found out about your dad and your lip quivered, those are the kinds of, so for everybody, it's that roller coaster. But it's a brilliant and beautiful blessing.
Mm-hmm. And for the benefit of the audience at home, I just wanted to say, if you're unfamiliar with Relative Race, think of who you are with a competitive twist. So it's Relative Race is a 10-day race all across the country. Contestants have no idea where they're going to go until each day they're told where
who they're going to meet, or who they're going to meet,
or who they're going to meet, for a grand prize of $50,000 at the end of it. There's competitions that they have to do. There's timed travel that they have to do, and we're going to get into that one too. That time travel business was just was insane. But that's the nuts and bolts of it. And along the way, each day they meet a different family member that they have never met before, that they never knew before. So both of you had a slightly different personal journey because Ray, you were adopted. And JD, you grew up with your mother. You had your mother in your life, but you didn't have your biological father.
Well, yeah, I actually didn't even know that wasn't my biological father until I was 31.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. And what was that like?
It was a memorable Christmas. It was on Christmas Day. My dad's mom, the dad who raised me, the dad who I love and I know and I'm grateful for, his mother, I think as she's started to reach in her aging years, decided that it was necessary that I knew. And so she said, I'm going to just give you this information. And it was hard for her to give, and it was hard for us to hear. And but in hindsight and retrospect, incredible blessing.
Mm-hmm. And Ray, what about you?
You mean as far as the find out about my adoption, or? Yeah. So what happened was, all my life, my mom would say, and when I speak about my mom, I'm speaking, this is the only time you'll ever hear me separate, adopted versus biological, but it's for contextual purposes. So my adopted mom would say, you're special. You're adopted. I always knew. And of course, when you're a kid, you're like, hey, adopted, not adopted, whatever, right? We're the toys, right? I don't care about that. But as I do remember that sticking with me, like, I'm special because I'm adopted. And so I got really overzealous when I was a kid, and I would just tell everybody, I'm adopted. That means I'm special, and my mom and dad wanted me and they love me. And kids would tease me about it. Like, that's not your real mom and dad. And I got really self-conscious about it as I became a, preteen. So I didn't tell anybody until, I was probably late in my teens again. I wasn't ashamed of it. I was just afraid of the ridicule. And then after that, I just said, to heck with it. Like, I am who I am. I'm loved. I'm blessed. I'm the person I'm going to be, minus my adult years. So what's the point of hiding it? And so ever since then, I've embraced it. I love it. To me, it's like when you're chosen, when somebody has an option to choose you, and they do, and they love you with everything that they have, that's the blessing in it. So ever since I've been able to, I had that hole in my heart just because I knew that I was adopted, and I was always told I had a brother and things like that. So that bothered me. But as far as being glad to be adopted, I was blessed. My mom would sit me down and watch a TV show in DC called Wednesday's Child, and it would show every week a child who was adopted, who wanted to be adopted. They would be of all ages, and she would say, see, this is the blessing, because they are 13, 14, 15, they still want to be adopted, and somebody loved you and wanted you. And it just put it all in perspective for me. So I embraced it after I started to watch that. So I'm very happy about it.
And again, in your season, there were 4 teams. All of you had married partners, and what I loved was what I would say the camaraderie and the generosity of spirit, and even the friendly banter between all 4 teams. I mean, you guys just created this amazing bond.
Yeah.
So
Ray tells everyone that it's the best season. He's also told everyone that he thinks our season should compete against other seasons. He knows we're the best. We had such a great time together.
Before you say anything, Brian, I want to say this because I told JD this before Ray got on, and Ray, I need you to hear this too. I need to thank you guys for the kind of love that you showed towards each other, that you pushed out into the world. But every person that saw that, if they never knew what love was, you saw it through you guys. Mm-hmm. The kind of love that y'all pushed out through the airwaves was unimaginable, unbelievable. My sister, I made her watch your show. I made her watch your season. And on on the very first show, she called me after it ended and she said, "You did not tell me I was going to cry right away. You did not give me." I said, "I let you know from the beginning to the end, from the rooter to the tutor, you was going to cry." And you guys were just awesome. And I just need you to know that, Ray, because I've already told JD. JD already wiping his eyes. I have a genuine love for you guys, for all four of you, but particularly you two. I just
See, and I just want to piggyback off of what Donia just said, because the 8 of you have very different personalities. You have different life experiences. You grew up in different parts of the country. You have different ethnicities. And I'm just going to say, if this whole country, all 330 million of us, could act the way that you guys acted, this country would be a completely different country. Can I just say that?
Yes.
Wow.
We agree.
Yes.
We agree. We agree.
We agree.
I'll tell you, man, like it's like, up until maybe 4 or 5 months ago when life just got hectic. I know, speak for myself, it did. From the day the show ended up until maybe May of this year, we pretty much talked every day. And we still talk, we celebrate birthdays, we do all of that. And at least for me, when life slows down, it's kind of slowing down now. We'll get back. We've had some visits and reunions, and it's a genuine bond. We met, and everybody was like it was almost instant. We went out to dinner that same night that we all met.
Oh, wow.
It's genuine, and because you're looking at the host right there, JD's the man. Once you go out to Utah, he can take you anywhere you want to go for free. but it's genuine. It's very genuine.
What do you think your secret sauce was that made your season so different than any other season?
Well, I have some ideas. I don't know for certain. I think the fact that all 4 teams were married couples, I think that was something where we could all kind of relate to each other. I think all of us had been a little older in our age, and as a result, we'd been kicked around, we'd been beat up, we'd fallen down, both in our personal and professional lives and in our married lives. We've all experienced the joy and the pain of what it means to be a parent. And so when you bring all of that together, I think it helps us to immediately connect and resonate with one another. And then we had this moment where the show, the goal of the show is to bring family and information, but they want this competition part of it to happen too. And so while we were kind of getting some of our interviews done, it was like they were keeping us kind of apart from each other. And then there was this moment at lunch where we all kind of looked up from the table and realized that we were going to go on this shared experience, and that it wasn't about the competition or the money. It was about this opportunity to have this shared experience. And in that moment, and Ray said it, we instantly were bonded together by this thing we were about to do. And then we did go out to dinner that night, and we've been family ever since.
Aww.
And I want to say one of the chief challenges that you all had, but I'm going to say, JD, you had me laughing out loud at points. Technology, or shall I say the lack of technology, was not your friends. Because again, for the benefit of the audience, the teams are not allowed to have modern mobile phones. There is no GPS. They're literally with a map in a car trying to figure out where they have to go to. And for the younger generation who've probably never used a paper map, yet you all have no idea.
Flip phones.
All those flip phones. But I have to say, GD, there were points where you just had me just cracking up.
Well, it was either laugh or cry, and we'd done enough crying. So we better laugh at ourselves a little bit.
The other thing that I wanted to really kind of point out that I found really impressive is our generation of men were raised to not show emotion, to not cry, all of that. Boys don't cry, all of that stuff. I think I'm a little slightly older than either of you, but we still kind of roughly fall in the same generation. And again, throughout the whole season, you guys were really, all of the men were really emotional, not afraid to cry, not afraid to kind of say what they were feeling in their experiences. And there's not really a question. I mean, you can comment on it, but I thought that was a really, really healthy thing for especially younger men to see.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Ray.
No, I defer to you because I was going to piggyback off what you were going to say.
For me, I think a big part of the work that I do in my real life is helping people understand how valuable connections are, how valuable a team can be, how valuable I was in the U.S. Navy and I had an opportunity to be a part of a very specific group, spent a year in the first Persian Gulf War. And from those experiences, I really embraced what does it mean to be a part of this collective community? What does it mean to be a part of a team? What does it mean to have other people's backs? And so for me, my only objective in this whole thing was to make sure that my team, which was the red, the green, the blue, that they had 100% of us rooting for them and cheering for them and praying for them. And to your point, real men eat quiche, I guess, and we also and I feel like if we can be real with each other and we can be vulnerable with each other, and if we can be scared with each other, then we actually have an opportunity to help each other. Those are the tools that break down walls, that allow us to connect, those very simple tools. Without those walls, then there's an opportunity for connection, and then there's an opportunity for help, because I need things in my life that I can only get from Ray. So I choose to open up and to be real with Ray and have him be real with me, or I close up and I build walls.
I need some tissue.
Yeah, and for me, it's like when you find, I'm really big on aura and spirit and connection, and of course we're led by Christ, and we at least I'm speaking for me, and I feel like I speak for all of us. We're led by Christ, and so His goal for us is just to lead more souls back to the kingdom, right? And in doing that, you have to build connections. You have to be open to different walks of life and different people and non-judgmental and all of those things. And I went into this. I went like getting on the plane thinking, okay, it's competition, Mamba mentality. Let's go win it and destroy it. But the second that I met them, all of that went away. And I was like, man, we're all here. It was probably 38, 40 degrees in Utah. It was still snow on the ground somewhere. We all had to take pictures, and these nice, beautiful pictures that you see with our T-shirts on. It's probably ice on the back of our necks because it's so cold. But we have to hug up 7 people that never met before, 8 people that never met before had to hug up and be in a picture, and just kind of it took the edge off. It took I want to win. You never go into anything to lose, but the real win is I gain 6 cousins. I get the extra family from the show. I get the wisdom, because aside from what you see on the show, just having regular conversations, especially listening to JD, just probably one of the wisest people I know. Just can put everything in perspective and put everything in a way where it's not so like holy and sanctified, but it's coming from a good place, but it's real world stuff. So it's like there are very few people that when they talk, I just shut up and just listen to them. He's one of them. And that whole season was just full of just pure good energy, connections. It's life-changing, and it always will be for me.
Well, you remember that day one, Ray did something that everyone participated in their own way, and everyone gave their own energy in such a special way, and that's why it came off the screen the way that it did, because it was real, it was authentic, no barriers. So we're having the morning breakfast when the race is about to begin. There's probably 150 people in total with all the camera crews and the drivers and of the camera crews and the lighting people and and we're having breakfast, and we choose to have breakfast together. And we left our producers in the dust. And I think at the beginning they thought, what's going on? I mean, we're here to give you everything in this production. And so the 8 of us eat breakfast together, and it's loud, and Dan gets up and says some stuff, and some other producers say some stuff, and they're telling us about safety and whatever. And as soon as they get done talking, Ray says, hey, let's go pray together.
Mm-hmm.
And we get up and we walk to the back of the room, and we hold hands and we unite in one of the greatest blessings of my life.
Yeah.
Nothing after that mattered. That whatever started that moment, that sort of solidified it for us. And the producers and everyone, it got so quiet in there. They'd never seen anything like it. And I've never experienced anything quite like it.
Yeah, I have to, excuse me, I have to text my son to tell him to bring me some tissue in here because y'all killing me.
And kind of staying on that subject. So I think it was episode 1, or at any rate, and I'm staying with you just for a minute, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
That's the episode that JD had learned that the person that he was actually hoping to meet, his father, had died at a very young age. And all the teams were gutted. I mean, you could actually see that all of the teams were gutted.
Yeah.
You were the first one to start crying. And I'm just wondering, what was going through your head at that moment?
I felt a kindred moment to him because I knew I didn't know either one of my parents, and I'm like, man, I feel for him, and I could be him too. So I felt the connection. Like it wasn't so much sympathy, it was more empathy. I was feeling the pain with him because I'm like, man, we come here for answers, and on day 1 you get the answer, but the answer is of such finality, you don't get all the other answers you want from the person you want to hear it from. And I'm feeling bad for him because it's real love for all of them. But when he had to go through that first, I felt bad for him. And then I thought, man, that could be me soon. So it was like I related to him, and I felt bad for him at the same time, because you get answers, but you never get the answer that you're looking for from the person. So it just hit me hard because I knew I knew that I could potentially be in that situation soon.
So, well, I want to ask a question. I want to stay on this because the reason why the two of you are together is because you resonated off the screen like you were already close. Now you've already explained why. You've literally explained why you guys were close. You guys were close before you even got on screen, just by meeting each other. Oh, my light went off. And when Anitra had to go, which is Team Blue, and she went to see her mother at the gravesite, that particular show, I think I had snot running out my nose because of what you said. You were like, I got this all wrong. And I can't, I don't understand. I got this. It was, what made you feel like you had it wrong? The love, Jesus, the love from all 4 of you was just so amazing. What made you feel like you had it wrong, Ray? Like, why would you?
Because that was day 6, I believe, and I remember day 5 we had gotten our second strike, and I was just like, man, we're about to go home, and I thought I was doing my best, and I thought we were doing good, and I had made it. I had shifted back to the competitive part of me, like we got to go compete. We can't go home. And when I saw that, that's what I was like, man, have I forgotten what we're here for? Like, so I know, JD's dad had passed away, and now her mom had passed away, and my mom I learned at that time had passed away, and I'm like, man, what am I thinking about? This is so much more than doing games and seeing how fast I can get to somebody's house. This is about real. When all this is over, you still have to deal with it. And I don't.
Oh no,
Oh no.
working on getting Ray back. Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Yeah, you still have to deal with that. And so that's what it was for me. I felt in that moment, I just had it completely wrong. My focus was, I had to get back focused on what was important.
Because I believe it was the very next episode that Ray, you found out that your mother had passed. And again, everyone was really gutted, but I think
No, he had already found out beforehand.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I think second day. And Anisha's was like on day 6. That's the part that got me. I'm like, he lost his dad, I lost my mom. And even still through that, I'm thinking about competition. That's when everything crystallized to me then. So I still wanted to win, but it wasn't the end all be all. It was the end of a show, but it was the beginning of everything else. I had it completely. I remember that moment vividly because I remember thinking about this is about family, not about the game.
Yeah.
Which is something that Donnie and I were speaking about before we went into the green room. So you get I would say 3 of the teams, you kind of got the sense with the competition, it was kind of, the eye on the prize, and I get it. 50,000 is a lot of money, and we're in a really tough situation financially, economically at the moment. But it was really interesting with your season to see that become less of a thing, and really the competition being more important to you because that was your ticket to meet the next relative. I guess for you guys, at what point in the process did that kind of change for you when the competition became that gateway to meet additional family members?
I think it goes through the whole there's the roller coaster that you described in the beginning is real, and you have all of these feelings. There are days where you're hypersensitive about, did we go fast enough? Are we going to be able to stay one more day? Are we going to embarrass our kids? And they're going to think that we're the first losers, which we were the first losers. And so how do you move through all of that and keep your eye on this other thing that's so valuable that we're going to get to meet more family members? I think the world would teach us that, in my case on day 1, the answer that I got, that's sort of, it's over. And in most cases, in most people's, let's just be done. I'm done. I found out that my dad's not around. Let's be done. And there was a real moment there. We got a strike. It was raining. We spent many hours trying to find this address. And then I find out that, and the person who told me, who I love, doesn't know much about my dad. She can't even tell me very much about my dad other than he died. And there's a real part of me, the macho man part of me, that's like, hey guys, I'm done being told what to do by producers. I'm done being told where to stand. I don't want to do this anymore because, and for me, there was this moment where the whole world stopped, kind of like what Ray's talking about, and it shifted for him. And I had this very spiritual experience where I kind of got the idea that forget about yourself, you selfish turd, and go to work and help whoever else is in your family that you're going to find, and whoever else in this team family, help them. Like, forget about you and go help someone else. And for me, it was that first night. I mean, I remember I was standing outside the house. It is raining. The cameras are inside interviewing my cousin, and I'm kind of like stomping my feet and frustrated. And it was like heaven opened up and said, no, man, this isn't even about you. This is so much bigger than you. And to your earlier point, if we could just get to the big vision of how we can be in each other's lives and how we can bless each other and help each other, then all of this little petty crap that we stomp our feet over could go away.
Yeah, which I think partially answers our audience member Randy's question, because I think she was touching on what Ray was saying about praying, or actually what JD was saying about Ray gathering them together in the hotel to pray. So she was saying that she asked, were all 8 of you Christian? And she goes on to say that there's a lot of different faiths in her family. But listening to JD talk about that didn't seem to be an issue. You know, it was just seemed like a base. If I understand correctly, Ray, you just had a general kind of supportive prayer.
Yeah, you know, so in that moment, I didn't think about who was Christian, who wasn't, or whatever. I know that God is who He says He is, and Christ is who He says He is. So in that moment, if that's what I'm called to do, regardless of who you believe, what you believe in, that moment was for Him to be glorified, and we were to be the vessels to do that and to come together through Him. So I don't even know then or now or anytime if I'm ever concerned with who believes or not. I just believe that God is a perfect God, and He wants us to gather in His name. We do it, and that's always be my position on it. So I wanted to do it because I was moved to do it. I was called to do it, and the Spirit moved me to do it.
And another beautiful part of that is that the audience by which you were doing it, the other three teams, they were so open and had so much love for Ray that they would honor him in that, regardless of what our individual beliefs were. The love for him was greater than their ego around what they thought was right, if that makes sense.
Which is how life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You guys personified that. The entire group, you guys just like really kind of made that known. And because of that prayer that Ray did with you guys and out of nowhere, and the fact that you guys went and you had lunch right away, and you guys became family before you even started the show. So this is why we felt your love. This is why, like, yeah, I don't know about any of our guests or anybody else, but I have chills talking to you guys, and I knew that I would. I have had tears dropping. I've also known that I was going to do that. There is one other time with the tear factor that was very strong, and I know I was blowing my nose on this one, and that's when Ray met his brother.
Amazing.
Let me tell you something. The day you met your brother, I was sitting on my bed and I was no more good. Because when you dropped down to your knees, I was like, Nikki, pick him up. Oh my God. I was like, get him, girl, get him. Because it's just a lot. And you just dropped to your knee and it was the most emotional thing that I had ever seen in my life. And I need to know, like, for you, when I first found y'all to get y'all on the show, the first thing I saw was a picture of you and your brother on your page. I started crying all over again. So with that being said, how is the relationships that you guys have found with these newfound family members? Are you still digging? Things like that. What is going on with that?
For me, Lamont is my guy. Like he is also one of the I tell him he's the good brother. I'm like, man, you good, all the good. No, you're the good brother. I'm like, this guy is with his hands. He's great to talk to. He's a confidant. He's my mom's already adopted him and calls him her miracle son. And he's been up for the 4th of July, this past 4th of July. And my nieces are just amazing. Just that whole, more so than everybody. And I keep in touch with everybody, here and there. But he and I are the closest. We had one person on the show that has since passed away. But Lamont and I, that's my buddy. That's my brother. It's like he's been my brother my whole life. And when he's another one, when he says, "Hey, here's what I'm thinking," I just listen because I want to be a little brother. I want to be pushed around and kicked in the butt and told what to do, and like you do it because I said do it. And this past New Year's, we had a moment where I was kind of in my own way, and I didn't, want to be bothered. And I went down to spend New Year's with him, and he called me up. He said, "Bro, get out the bed. and come on over here. I said, no, I'm not coming. I'm feeling how I'm going. He said, hey, get out the bed and get over here. And I just felt like, you know what? My big brother told me what to do, so I'm going to it. Like
Lamont's the real deal.
Yeah.
I love that guy so much. And in that moment when that happened, if you remember, when he puts his arms around you, he says, "I got you."
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what was that like for you, JD?
I couldn't have been happier. I can't be happier for Ray. And I love Lamont. I've met Lamont. He and I have a relationship that's not as good as his and Ray's, and I'm a little jealous of that. But how could I not root for my brother? I mean, it was the coolest thing in my life. Honestly, I got to meet a sister, and I love her, and we see each other all the time. But I didn't feel an ache to find my family, or I don't know how to explain that. I felt pretty complete. I felt like I'd gone 31 years and never known, and this new information was great, and I'm going to go find these people, and they matter to me. But I felt like there was this part of Ray that was missing. Yeah. And in that moment, some of Ray's puzzle got filled in, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm going to dig a little deeper in the actual relatives part of the Relative Ray show. So again, a lot of this is done through DNA testing. So I know that when I discovered that my supposed rumored Irish great-grandfather was in fact a Jewish man who lived in Washington, D.C., I was like, oh, maybe that's why I've got such a passion for like what I call Jewish soul food. Even as a kid, loved Jewish food. My surname Sheffy is Swiss German. And again, in my family, we ate a lot of German food. I'm like, well, this is kind of strange for an African-American family. What's up with this? You take a DNA test and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. What did, plus things like family quirks, figuring, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why my family does this, or, we do things like that. What did you learn about yourself? Did you recognize any kind of personal quirks within the new family members that you were meeting? You're thinking about that.
Well,
that's my whole thought process.
Well, my wife and my mom would tell you that my brother and I have similar mannerisms. We hold our hands the same way. We react. We have the same facial expressions when things, shock us or what have you. Like that. I don't see it because obviously I'm me, so I don't see the me in it. I don't pay that much attention to myself and my expressions, so I don't know. But as far as stuff I see, I don't necessarily see it in me, but I see it in our kids because my kids and my daughter are around the same age, and maybe 20 minutes after they met each other, they were hugging and bonding and watching TV, and they kind of tease each other, and I'm taller than you, and you can't run faster than me, and that whole thing. What I will tell you, though, is that competitive part of me that comes, my competition comes from the fear of abandonment, and I'm running from this ghost of you're not good enough. So don't pick me last. Don't leave me out. Don't forget to give me a call, that thing. My niece, Lamont's oldest daughter, Journey, is extremely competitive. And Lamont is too. He and I are competitive. Like, if there's one thing I see, it's that competitive drive. But then my daughter and his youngest daughter are very passive and take life as it comes. So if I see anything, now that I think about it, it's the competition. If we're talking football, if we're talking about who has the largest cup of water, whatever it is.
So JD, you had your mother's family in your life already. So for Ray, you didn't have any of your biological family in your life, and your love for your adopted family just came through so strongly. But what was it like actually meeting your first relative that was biologically connected to you?
I can't even.
He cried.
If I put it in words, I'd be underselling it. It's like I always used to say, I'm the only person like me And then when my daughter was born, I'd be like, we're the only people that have our blood and like us. And I remember telling her, when I come back from the show, we're going to have a whole new family that is like us, that does have our blood. So when I found that, it was like life-changing, earth-shattering, whatever the biggest word I could use to describe, or words I could use to describe. It's different when you say, oh, so we have the same blood, like my blood and your blood run the same way. And the whole family is from that kind of one pocket of North Carolina. So when I go down in there, I'm like, it felt home, but it's hard to explain. But it felt like, yes, finally, it's not just me alone in the world anymore.
Mm-hmm. And again, to both of you, Donnie and I were chatting about this as well. You know, we come from, we're connected many different ways in South Carolina. And, you know, coming out of the South, our ancestors were very good at keeping secrets. Even to this day, they're kind of, you know, the descendants are kind of reluctant to talk about those secrets. So relative race, at least your season, was really based on some really kind of openly discussing in a very public forum some deeply personal kind of family stuff. One, what was that like? Two, how did the family that was already in your life react to that? Oh, and three, what advice would you give someone who's kind of going down that similar journey to what both of you experienced?
So I think my advice would be to be open to whomever you meet, and whatever they can bring into your life, whatever blessing they can bring into your life. I think sometimes we get this idea of what we need or what we want in our life, and sometimes we've closed ourselves off from receiving the actual gift because we're not open to it. But in each of those things, there is a gift, and there's growth, and there's an opportunity for us. My mom has healed emotionally. I never knew that she had any challenges. I never recognized growing up, but she had kept this secret all of these years. And that secret had, I don't want to say haunted her, but I think she was always worried that it was going to come out and that there would be big grave damage if it did come out. And since it's come out, she's been able to share stories with me about who he was. I've gotten to learn a little more about him. She, like, you know, when you were born, I was like, oh my gosh, you're your dad's son. And then when your boys were born, oh my gosh, every time we have these kinds of events, I'm more and more reminded of this man who was a big part of her life. And so I've watched my mom heal as a result of that. And as strange as this is going to sound, I've watched the community heal as a result of it, because we lived about 40 miles north of where we live now. And as a result of this show, we started spending time where my father was born and my grandfather was born and my great-grandfather was born, and where they were all raised. And we've moved to this community. And they all lost their friend. They lost their son. They lost their brother. They all experienced this great loss of not a perfect guy, but a great man who's loved and served in his community. And I was in the hardware store. It's a teeny little hardware store, and I was looking for something. And a guy came around the corner, and he said, "It's you. You're your dad." And he put his old man hands on my face, and he touched me, and then he reached down, and I have these massive hands, and he started to look at all parts of my hands, and he was like, "Your dad's hands. I wrote a poem about your dad's hands. It's on the internet."
Oh, wow.
They're the hands that heal. They're the hands that help. They're the hands that coach. They're the hands that bind. And in that, so we sat there for about an hour, and he told me all these incredible stories about my father. But I've watched this whole experience not just bless my life and not just Ray's, but it has this ripple effect. How could you not want to create that kind of opportunity and ripple effect for others? So go do it. If you're worried about what the negative is, forget about it. Just go find the positive. Be open.
Yeah.
And for you, Ray, What was that? What was that journey like for you?
Um,
And again,
I almost just want to completely echo what JD said. Like if you're afraid of it, it's okay to have a little fear, but don't let the apprehension of the fear, because on the other side of that, it may be some uncertainty. It may be more questions. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be more questions, some uncertainty. But what it will be is it'll be a blessing. It'll be closure. It'll be, and the blessing might not directly come to your life, but the fact that you reached out to somebody who, like I had one relative who was just in awe of seeing me, because similar to what JD said, she saw my dad in me like that, and it just,
I remember that.
yeah, right. It's just like, wow, like, and to me, I'm like, man, I never knew him. I wish I met him. To her, he's alive again, right? So the blessing that you bring to somebody doesn't necessarily resonate with you. It can, but allow yourself to be open to be used to be God's blessing to somebody else. Don't let the fear prevent it.
Amen.
The ripple effect could be positive in so many ways.
So, do you guys? I got a quick thing to say. Do you guys see when I put up the bubble and the people say something? Do you see
I can
it?
see it. I just can't read it because I'm getting old now.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to play some bubble up. And this bubble says, love this. By the way, I am a match to season 6 relative race. I think that says 15B. Here, that is Ray. Hi, cuz.
What's up?
I so love it. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I got another cut.
Let me tell you how I'm ready to bust up.
That's amazing, man. Just another cut.
Oh, yeah.
Jody Biles. That's
Jody
brilliant.
Biles is her name. And she says that you are actually, she was told that particular person is her cousin. And it's you.
Wow.
So, and she says hello.
Hello, girl.
So, and this, God, see, it's y'all. I'm telling you, it's y'all. It's the whole season 6 is beautiful. And when we talk to Deshae and Anitra later on, I'm gonna let them know that I love them. I do. I actually may be related. Brian and I might be related to Anitra. Just to let y'all know that we actually, because we work with the first cousin that she met, which is Andre Kearns.
Wow.
We work with him.
Who is my cousin?
Who is his cousin? Who is actually Brian's cousin? He's not
from
mine,
BC.
but yeah, we all are from this area. And I'm going to say this to you, because you were born and raised here, you might be related to us too, Ray.
Well, Ray, I was expecting it when they had you going all over North Carolina. I'm like, if he hits Warren, Halifax, or Northampton, my ears are gonna all. But you didn't.
So it's still a possibility. I'm gonna hold out on it, because whether you guys think of me as a cousin, guess who y'all my cousins. You ain't even got to think of me as it, because the show itself is just freaking awesome. And you, the two of you, it was mandatory that if we did the show, we had to do the two of you first, because the love, although like I said before, all 4 of you gave off this love on the waves, on the airwaves that went crazy, but the love that came from the two of you towards each other was visible. It was like you knew each other from the very beginning, and you've explained all that. But now, it was. I had to have the two of you first. I had to. It was mandatory.
So again, for the benefit of the audience, just to remind you, and especially for those of you who came into the show a little bit late, so we're talking about relative race. Ray and JD were contestants in season 6, and the show goes out on BYU TV, which is a free television app that you can download if you have a digital television. And the show, if I remember correctly, is 9 p.m. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
So we urge you to watch it. And again, I just love the mixture of levity and emotion. I'm going to say for a show, I thought it did an excellent job. Probably the editing. That really did balance out those two things, because all of you had cracking senses of humor. You were way more patient than me, because my heart went out to all of you every time you got stuck in traffic. Donnie because Donnie, well, Ray, you probably don't know this. Donnie and I are cousins. We're related at least 9 different ways. And we were strangers. We met each other through a DNA test about 12 years ago. And have built up that relationship. But I'm telling you now, that was me stuck in a car, knowing that I have to beat the clock for a competition. I would have been clawing that car apart.
Yeah, we would have lied. But Ray, I also wanted to tell you, because like I told you guys, I produced this show, so I look at different things. And although it's not popping up on this comment up here, it is popping up on another one. Guess who's watching the show? The first cousin you met, Isabel. So she says, "Hi Ray, it's cousin Isabel, your first relative you met. Love you, cuz." But I'm just like, this show right here. I told Brian, I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, Brian, this whole show with Ray and JD, it's gonna be very, very emotional. Bring your tissue.
Look.
But again, as much as you two showed each other love,
Brian, I think Ray was getting ready to say something.
Oh,
and it went away.
Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
No, if you would have said, sorry, I'm getting the light back in my background. If you would have said anybody, I would have thought it would have been my cousin Isabel. She is the most supportive, engaged, positive. Like, I got sunshine, cloudy day like that. Her spirit is good. Very, very, very good. So I'm not surprised. I got that. Just met a cousin, and then all of us might be cousins somewhere down the road. So this is just, it's I'm telling you, it's the blessing that just keeps on blessing. And when you have a day where you feel like it's just rough, you just think about like you're not just your own blessing. You get to bless other people. People care about you. And I have my moments when I feel like, man, it's just me against the world. But then you could think, I got all these people that care, that I could reach out to, that love me, that I love back. And it just makes hard days easy and easy days good. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's as well as the 4 teams showing each other love and support, what I found really just amazing was your newfound family members and just their openness and the love that they shared with you guys. Again, I thought that was just a really special, it's something else that made the show really special.
Yes, it did. Everything about it.
Yeah, it was all genuine. And that's the thing. Like for me, I'm not really good at phony. I could do diplomacy at work maybe, but phony is not my thing. I come across very phony when I'm being phony. So that was a genuine love. I tell you, Jen, JD's wife, Chris, that's Jay's husband, and Paul are all like, it's hard to find 6 people at one time that are just good people. You can normally say, oh, that's the bad one right there, or those 2 are not going to, like, they're all, equally as good people. So as much as this is about us, I definitely, they were all supportive, my wife included, all supportive, all fun, all frustrating, all everything we went through, they were our anchors and our hooks. So I want to give them as much of the props too, because they were the rods. They were the ones holding us down.
And they even got to meet family members.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And I told you, I told you when you started crying, when you broke down and went to one knee, I was calling Nikki. I was, girl, get him, please, because I am not able to handle this. And I think that's why this was so emotional. Like because of the fact, like Brian said, when you see a woman is gonna cry, but when you see a man cry and he's comfortable with it, I think that's what made this show, this particular season, so very, very special, because y'all were not worried. I'm a kind of like Deshay. I'm a connoisseur of relative rape. That's how she came on the first show. She was like, "Yeah, I pretty much know everything about it. I do too. I'm a connoisseur of relative race, and I can sit here and I can tell you and I can break it down to see the differences on how each season changed and how each time got better and better, and how you guys were." Not just you guys, just the seasons in general. Season 2 was nothing. Seasons 1, 2, and 3, they were nothing like 4, 5, and 6. Everything about it was different. You didn't, and it was only one person in season 2, which was also the black team. He was the one that is more like y'all, because he was like, he found his father and he was like, you know what? Relative race is real. He just literally just looked into the TV and he said, relative race is real. And it meant everything to him. But you guys were probably the really first show that started sharing your family, that saying, I found this person. You guys were the first show that really just opened everything up to not just the 4 of you or to Dan. And our prayers are definitely to him with the things that he's going through right now. Not just to Dan, but to every person that was watching your show. And I am so appreciative. And we had one comment up here that said, everybody in the world needs to hear this. If y'all can share any show, this is the one that you guys share. Because they were absolutely right. Love comes from you guys all the time. And I'm appreciative.
I think. Sorry.
Oh no, please do go ahead, JD.
I think relative race, and I hope people will accept what I'm about to say, and I'm kind of just trying to create it in my own mind. I think it's endowed from on high, and I don't know if that's the right language to use, but I think it is. I think the spirit around the show and the genius around what they're trying to do to help people be aware of family and the opportunity to know family and the opportunity to be vulnerable and to be open to this whole concept. I think it is heaven directed. And we felt, at least I felt in our season, that heaven was a big part of helping us individually, helping us collectively, helping the show to get onto a new platform, as you were kind of suggesting, and allowing people to experience a little taste of the love heaven has for us here. I don't know if we think about heaven in that way, but my dad, who died at my biological dad, who died at a very young age, I can imagine if there's this heaven the way that I see it, he was working really hard for me to know him and to connect to him. And to connect to my siblings and maybe raise mom and my dad were saying these guys need to know each other. And a lot of people in the real world will say that's just hooey or, coincidence or whatever. There's no coincidences. Ray and I are meant to be in each other's lives, and now we're meant to be in your lives. And that show is endowed.
Amen.
And on that note, I'm just going to pick up what both Ray and JD have been talking about, and I'm afraid we are actually at time, is be kind to each other. Be kind to one another. And I think no matter what you believe in, that's a universal message. Do check out us on Facebook and YouTube for the next show, because we really are out of time. We've actually gone over. JD and Ray, it's been such a privilege and such an honor to have you on the show.
And please don't hang up. Hang up.
So until next week, you'll see us at 4 p.m. Sunday right here. I'm Brian Sheffy.
And I'm Donya Williams. Thank you so much. Get y'all tissues. I'm sorry if you didn't. I forgot to tell you to get your tissues.
Have a blessed day.
Bye. Don't hang up, guys.